You probably rolled your cart past this one already. The Sam's Club shelf in front of you looks completely normal. Full facings, bright tags, nothing screaming shortage. But underneath that normal-looking shelf, something quieter is happening. Formulas are changing. Bulk packs are shrinking. Replacement parts are vanishing behind discontinued models. And one item near the very end of this list isn't dramatic at all. It's the one thing that decides whether every other item on your list is even trustworthy. This isn't a doomsday list. It's a pattern. A discontinued tag rarely means the shelf went empty. It usually means something got reformulated, resized, repriced, or quietly swapped for something that only looks the same. So as we go through these 12, don't just ask if it's still there. Ask if it's still the same thing. The deeper we go, the stranger these weak links get. Number 12. The cafe menu casualty. Start with the easy one, the one you've probably already noticed without knowing why it mattered. Sam's Club has been trimming its cafe menu. The deluxe pizza is gone. And so are the churros, that foot-long treat that used to run under $1. And here's the part people miss. It wasn't cut because ingredients got expensive. It was cut for speed because rolling each one in cinnamon by hand was slowing down the kitchen. That's the real signal. A discontinued item doesn't always mean a shortage. Sometimes it means a company quietly deciding what's worth keeping. The cafe is the fastest moving test kitchen in the building. Whatever gets cut there first is a preview of what gets cut everywhere else. So if a 99-cent treat can disappear without anyone announcing it, what happens to something your household actually depends on every single week? Number 11. The breakfast bar reformulation trap. This one's already sitting on the clearance shelf right now. Chex Mix peanut butter bars. Members Mark Better breakfast bars, real markdowns. $3 and $4 off. On multi-packs nobody bothered to put a restock date on. That discount feels like good news. It isn't. It's a liquidation price. Sam's Club has been reformulating its private label to strip out synthetic ingredients. And when a product can't be reformulated without changing how it tastes, it gets cleared out instead. So the box you're grabbing on sale right now might share a name with next month's box and nothing else. Same wrapper, different recipe. That's the trap. Buy 5 boxes today thinking you scored a deal, and you might end up with a pantry full of a version that's already being phased out, followed by a replacement your family has never tasted. The fix is simple. Buy what you actually use, check the ingredient panel once, and don't panic stock a formula that's already on its way out. Number 10. The bulk coffee pod pack. Bars are one thing, but the item your whole morning actually runs on is next. The big 60-count Members Mark variety pack of coffee pods is showing up marked down too. $4 off. No explanation. No successor listed. And here's the number that matters. When that big box disappears, it doesn't take the whole coffee pod category with it. It just leaves the smaller multi-packs behind, the ones that cost more per cup. The category survives. The efficient size doesn't. Most people never notice, because they assume any box of pods is interchangeable. It isn't. The format is what was actually saving you money, not the product. Do the per cup math once before you assume a smaller box on sale is still a good deal. Number 9. The everyday loaf becomes a bake-it-yourself project. Coffee pods are routine. Bread is closer to survival, and bread is quietly changing shape. Sam's Club has been rolling out ready-to-bake organic sourdough 2 loaves, ready in 15 minutes, right where the standard sliced loaf used to sit. Sounds convenient. Except 15 minutes assumes you have a working oven, spare time, and stable power. The old loaf never asked you for any of that. It just sat there, ready to eat. This new one looks like bread on the shelf, but it's actually a process disguised as a product. Picture 2 loaves side by side, one you grab and eat. One that needs the exact system a power outage would interrupt. That's the twist. Convenience products can quietly become dependent on the one thing a crisis takes away first. Keep at least some fully baked, shelf-stable bread or crackers in the rotation as a no-oven backup. Number 8. The protein losing its shelf space. Bread needs heat, so does the protein sitting right next to it, and that shelf space isn't safe either. Sam's Club has been expanding its prepared food lineup. Tempura shrimp, coconut shrimp trays, fresh sushi, and that space has to come from somewhere. It's not extra shelving. It's the same footprint, rearranged. The fancy tray didn't appear out of nowhere. It replaced 2 feet of the plain, affordable protein pack your family actually buys every trip. More variety at a store can quietly mean less of what you rely on. Notice the meat case rearranged, the basic bulk pack pushed to a smaller section, the same price now buying a smaller size. Buy your household's actual staple consistently. Don't assume it holds its spot just because it always has. Number 7. The countertop appliance that loses its parts first. Food is one system. Tools are a completely different one, and this is where things get more expensive to ignore. Discontinued Cuisinart air fryer and toaster oven combos have been showing up on deep clearance. Great discount, right? Actually, the discount is the warning label. Once a model gets discontinued, the baskets, trays, and filters that keep it running get discontinued right along with it. You're not just buying an appliance on sale, you're buying the last few months before its parts pipeline disappears completely. 2 years from now, a cracked basket with no replacement anywhere turns a working appliance into a paperweight. If you're buying discontinued electronics on clearance, look for models with widely available third-party parts, or grab the basic accessories while they still exist. Number 6. The outdoor griddle's missing regulator. That same part dependency problem gets a lot more serious with equipment you might need without power at all. Members Mark gas griddles have been showing up discontinued and marked down too, and the part that fails first is never the griddle plate. It's the regulator, the igniter, the hose. Small, cheap, easy to ignore, until the exact one your model needs is gone for good. Picture this. The power's out. You're counting on that griddle as your backup plan, and it won't light because one $12 part isn't sold anymore. People check whether a griddle works today. Nobody checks whether it'll still be repairable in 2 years. If you're buying one on clearance, buy a spare regulator or igniter at the very same time, while both still exist on the same shelf. Number 5. The laundry aisle's quiet reformulation. Tools are one system, but the products that keep your actual house running are getting rewritten too. Sam's Club's ingredient overhaul, the same one that already stripped over 40 ingredients out of its food lineup, is expanding into laundry this year. That means the detergent bottle you grab on autopilot might hold fewer loads than it used to, in the exact same shape, at the exact same price. Nobody reads a detergent label out of habit. That's exactly why this one is easy to miss. You run out 2 weeks earlier than expected, and spend a month wondering why. A bigger bottle at the same price doesn't always mean the same number of loads. Check loads per bottle occasionally, not just the size of the jug. Number 4. The health and wellness shelf's silent formula swap. If cleaning products are getting quietly rewritten, so is anything else sharing that same overhaul, and this next one goes into your body, not just your washing machine. That same made without standard is rolling into health and wellness products this year. Your daily vitamin or supplement bottle can get a new formulation before it ever gets a new label. Same name, same bottle, different composition. People restock these on autopilot, trusting the brand more than the ingredient panel. That's exactly the moment brand trust stops being a reliable shortcut. If someone in your house takes something daily, it's worth comparing the ingredient list every so often and asking a pharmacist about any reaction that seems new. That's not paranoia. That's just checking the label instead of the logo. Number 3. The bulk baby formula blind spot. If daily use items can shift underneath a familiar label, the highest stakes version of that risk belongs to the smallest member of the house. Infant formula production has always been concentrated among a small handful of manufacturers, which is exactly why, in the past, a single regional disruption has been able to empty a still-in-stock category within weeks. That's not a guarantee for any specific date. It's a pattern worth watching, especially in a bulk format that parents assume will always sit multiple deep on the shelf. And here's the part that makes this different from every other item on this list. You can't just grab a similar brand. Many babies simply won't take it. Non-parents scroll right past this aisle. Parents assume a bulk club is the safest possible source right up until purchase limits reappear, or the usual size is missing while odd, unfamiliar sizes remain. Keep a modest, rotating buffer of the exact formula your baby uses, checked for expiration, without turning it into a panic buy. Number 2. The bulk cooking oil jug. That's the last item about one single product. This next one is the ingredient sitting quietly behind almost every other item on this list. The big jug of cooking oil in the corner of the store looks like the most boring item in this entire countdown. It's actually the reason your bulk rice, your stored bread, your protein packs are edible at all. And the large format jug is often the very first size to disappear when a supplier or formulation shifts, leaving only smaller, pricier bottles behind. Same product, completely different price per ounce. Cook rice or beans with fat, and it's a meal. Cook them without it, and it's a chore nobody wants to eat twice. Calories don't equal a usable pantry. Fat and flavor are what decide whether stored food actually gets eaten instead of thrown out. Buy the largest stable format your household will actually rotate through before it turns. Number 1. The Member's Mark label itself. And that brings us to the one thing every single item on this list has quietly had in common. It was never really 12 separate problems. It was one label, changing underneath everything you buy. At the same time, Sam's Club has removed over 40 ingredients across its entire Member's Mark food and beverage lineup as of this year. And that same standard is expanding into cosmetics, wellness, and laundry. One policy, dozens of product lines, all shifting at once. That means the logo on the box, the one your brain uses to skip the ingredient panel entirely, stops being a reliable shortcut exactly when it matters most. You grab a familiar box purely because you recognize it, and that's the moment brand loyalty quietly becomes a blind spot instead of a shortcut. Here's the shelf signal worth remembering. Any new look, same great taste messaging anywhere in that store is your cue to actually stop and compare labels. Because a full cart of trusted items can each be quietly different from what your household bought 6 months ago, and you'd never know just by looking. Preparedness was never only about stockpiling enough of something. It's about periodically re-verifying that what you're stockpiling is still the same thing you think it is. Don't panic swap brands over this. Just get in the habit of checking labels on anything you buy purely out of memory. So, here's the full shape of it. A cafe treat gets quietly cut for speed, not cost. A snack bar gets reformulated before it gets relabeled. A bulk pack disappears while the smaller, pricier version stays behind. Bread starts needing an oven it never needed before. Protein loses shelf space to something flashier. A discounted appliance is really a countdown on its own replacement parts. An outdoor griddle becomes useless in an outage because of one missing part. Detergent and vitamins get rewritten under the same label you've always trusted. Formula stays vulnerable because too few companies make it. And the fat that makes stored food actually taste like food disappears in its most useful size first. None of that is dramatic on its own. All of it connects back to one thing, a label that no longer guarantees what it used to. So here's the calm, practical move. On your next shopping trip, pick just one item from food, one from your tools or replacement parts, and one from cleaning or daily health, and simply check the label against what you remember buying last time. That's it. No panic buying, no hoarding, just checking before you grab out of habit. Because the shelf doesn't have to look empty for something to already be gone. Sometimes the label stays exactly the same, while everything behind it quietly changes, and the best time to notice that is right now, while it's still boring enough that nobody else is paying attention. Which item on this list have you already noticed quietly changing at your own Sam's Club? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what you've caught before the rest of us did.